Default services are designed to post to the patient's ledger upon completion of their visit. We are going to cover the types of default services that you can set up in a case under charge frequency. There are three types of default services: time of purchase, every visit, and monthly. When you go to set up a default service on a patient's case, it will automatically default to every visit frequency. So let's look at what a default service that is set up with every visit charge frequency means. Every visit charge frequency default service means that every time this patient comes in for an adjustment, this service will automatically post to their ledger. There are a few requirements the system has for every visit default charges to post automatically. 1. The appointment needs to be marked as arrived. 2. The SOAP note needs to be entered through the SOAP note screens. 3. The SOAP note should be either submitted or drafted. And 4. The SOAP note should be entered on the same day as the appointment. Everything hinges on it happening on the same day of the appointment and actions performed on the SOAP note screen. Remember, it will only post automatically to the patient's ledger if the doctor pulls up the patient's appointment on the SOAP note screen. So when an appointment has arrived, I'm on my SOAP note screen. I click on the patient, and the provider either completes and submits a SOAP note or saves a SOAP note as a draft. And it has to happen on the same day as the appointment, because when I'm on the SOAP note screen, the every visit default charges will automatically pull over, and I am submitting or saving my SOAP note. So, two important things on this appointment. Charges and SOAP note are happening on the same day as the appointment. Now again, I can see the every visit default charges at the bottom of the SOAP note screen, or in the charges box if I click into it. You would only want to set up every visit default charges if this is a service that the patient receives every time they come in for a chiropractic appointment. We would not want to put an every visit service as a default if the patient receives that service every once in a while, like a massage. If I set a massage service as every visit, that would apply every time the patient comes in for their adjustment. And that simply just isn't how they receive their services. There are a few more additional requirements for every visit default services. Right now, every visit default charges will only apply to the adjustment or that main visit on the chiropractor's calendar. And you will see a few other basic requirements as well. The next option is time of purchase. This would be a good option for the massage situation that I was just explaining. Time of purchase is also a good way to notate services that may receive a discount or have a special price whenever the patient receives the service. These are services that they may not receive every time they come in, like every visit defaults are, but it's a way to indicate a discount or a special rate that a patient gets on specific services. Time of purchase defaults are not posted automatically. Time of purchase default services have to manually be entered from the transaction modal or from the doctor's SOAP note screen. Let's say, as an example, this patient receives a discount on their massages if I have this service set up with a specific write-off and the write-off reason. What this will do is, anytime I put in this charge for this patient, it will apply the charge amount, then the set in-line write-off, and apply the write-off reason. This is a way to automatically pull discounted rates for a patient when you are manually entering services. This can help with ledger accuracy if a patient's care plan dictates that they receive certain discounts on services or inventory items. That way, a staff member doesn't have to remember when this patient comes in and what type of discounts they may or may not be receiving. It can already be accounted for in the patient's case. A quick note, you will not have a write-off amount or reason on services that you are adding on an insurance case. Inline write-offs are only applicable on a cash case. The last default service type we have is monthly. Monthly charges are used to post a particular service every month on a specified date. If you're a clinic that uses monthly membership charge or the structure of a monthly charge, you can set up a monthly membership charge to post the same day as the patient's monthly payment. This way, the payment will show as a credit, and then the monthly membership charge shows a charge. Therefore, balancing out the patient's ledger, you would put in the charge amount again if there is a write-off amount and the reason, and then you would apply the charge day of the month. So let's say the patient's payment runs on the 15th of the month. Maybe you want that charge to also run on the 15th. Charges remaining will simply indicate how many times that monthly charge needs to be added to the patient's ledger. Let's say it's the beginning of the patient's care plan and they have 12 months of this reoccurring charge. I would type in 12 every month as this charge is added. In this situation, on the 15th of the month, the charge's remaining amount will auto-reduce. So next month when this posts, the charges remaining will say 11.